Principal of Vindravan Viharilal. Sit down, everybody.
Guys,
And cordial welcome tonight for our second night of reading. Let's all stand as we begin with our reading. Now, I need you to give me a chord because I need to hear you. A little higher. Sajam Cham Varti Sanyuktam Grahina Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grahana Devesham Trilokyat Virapaham. Go sound good.
What is it?
Ma jai jai ma jai jai ma jai jai ma oh ma jai jai ma jai jai ma jai jai
Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai
Oh, Clasp your hands and close your eyes as we pray. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadisevitam Kapeta Jambo Palacharvakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwaram Sarvamangalamangale Sharanye Narayani Namaste Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Guru Brahma,
Guru Vishnu,
Guru Devo,
Maheshwara,
Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Principal Mahavati Mahadevati Jai. Devotees, tonight we have the opportunity to sit together to listen to discourse on something called Som Pradosh. Pradosh is the Trayodasi day that falls. Today Somvar in Hindi, it means that this Pradosh has fallen on a Monday. For 1 year, people who do this Pradosh Vrat, they begin today fasting, doing prayer from before the sunrise throughout the day, after 1 hour and a half after the sunrise. That began today. Today is our Lord Shiva's day, very powerful day when people want peace and protection in their life, when people are affected by bandit, sickness, different type of trouble. It is affecting your peace. When people say, don't study it, forget it. But you know the truth when you go on the bed, it's still playing here. Then people worship today. Tonight, as a result of this, we enter into a discourse that many people do not get to listen. Tonight, we're going to listen to Devi Bhagwat, and I'll make sure and pray, see where I'm reading, so different people viewing will be able to follow. I'm reading from Book 3, chapters 1 to 6, Devi Bhagwat. And my question tonight is, if you believe in your Devi, have you ever wondered why people celebrate Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga? No, man. No issue. Very good. But we just say believe in Kali Mata. Say I'm going to a Kali Puja, and you are met with a certain amount of disdain. It is as if and I promise I will not interfere again. It is as if this Kali form, and I'm using one Devi, Kali Mata, for everybody, children to understand. It is as if this form belongs to a different religion. There will be fear. When I was coming to do the yag here, somebody asked me to read, I'm going to read. I'm talking about God. I don't see a problem. I'm a member of the International Pundits Council. I'm a Gosai. This does not take away from me in any way. I'm doing God's work. Somebody said to me, you're going in a Kali temple. You Gosai Baba. How they catch you to go on dancing asa? Nobody didn't catch me. Nobody didn't pay me no exorbitant money. Let me say my mother would. I read. I love to read Devi Bhagwat Puran. But you see, people sometimes don't understand. We don't know our history. Please understand this and think for yourself. Look at how people manipulate our religion. Hindu, love Saraswati, love Lakshmi, love Durga, but Kali, ostracize your own goddess. But the same people who say Saraswati, Lakshmi mantra, Jayanti Mangala Kali, Bhadra Kali up the road, but don't believe in it. Oh, alright, say it, but I don't know what that means. What happened was, just as how the colonizers in our history separated Pakistan and Hindustan, and where there was never violence between Muslim and Hindu, they created this strife that continues still today. Where Sikh, when you see Sikh people wear black turban, there's a reason for that color. The massacre that happened. That is where they wear that color on their head in commemoration of the lives that were lost because other people told them what was good and what was bad, and some people got carried away with that and killed the innocent. Likewise, when people saw Kali Mata, what's the problem? What's the problem with Kali Mata? She, if you know that Navratri discourse, she's the one when Durga Mata is facing Shum and Nishum and Rakta Beads takes the battlefield and he has the blessing that when his blood falls on the earth, a clone, a copy is going to come. And as much blade she could pelt, he stands up and he says, cut, do what you want. And more she cut him, as more copies was coming. That is what he prayed for. He did not put on armor, shield, sword. He didn't defend himself. Cut, you want to cut? Cut. And mother charged, and as she cut him, he bleed, and that blood made copies. And in the battle now, hold, stop. We can't do this way. We're not going to win him. That same Devi takes off all her clothes. She's naked, no gold, no jewel. She is an emissary. She goes in the night, she's dark, because in the night you cannot see somebody who is dark like that. There's no shimmering sari to cause reflection. She ran through the camp of Rakta Beads and she killed every one of them. But when she reached the original, now watch the picture, the lady had a head and she catching the blood, not to drink, but to prevent further copies from being made. You could take anything. You could take a picture. We all have babies in the family. Long time when you catch a child in a little, pampers, before the pampers picture, it was cute. And now somebody could take that same picture and pervert it and say it's sexual in nature. Don't take that picture. But when you're looking at it, that is my baby, that's my son, daughter, that's innocence. The same picture could be perceived in a different way. That same Kali, if you know the truth about her, you will understand the purpose. But the invaders at the time in Hindustan looked at her as a rebellion force, as a force to wake up the masses that would cause trouble. Why? Watch how we get foolish. I'm staying by my aunt in Long Island, and my aunt for years, no matter what I read, no matter what I read, Kish, Navratri coming. Which days for Saraswati? Which days for Lakshmi? Which days for Durga? Anybody hear that already? Jai Bhagwan. All you remember what Navratri is? Navratri is a memorial of a battle that happened many Janam ago. It was a war. In a war, people use weapons. Go home and find your Saraswati and Lakshmi Pati and show me which hand have a weapon. None. They never fought. The truth is, and I'm saying this just to refresh your memory, the truth is, when that demon came, Mahisasu, there was Parvati, there was Lakshmi, there was Saraswati. And the man had a blessing that only a female could destroy. So when they started to talk now, we have a little panchayat going, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv Baba, and everybody talking. Brahma says, if we send Saraswati, she is so docile and nice and calm and cool, she will give the other side the knowledge to beat we. If you send Lakshmi, now we lost. She is so good anyway, she go, they become fortunate, they will win and we will lose. Don't send she. Parvati is the mother of everybody. She go there and caress everybody and gentle them up and caress them and heal them, mama guide them when they get licks. She go fix them and they go win and we will lose. Do not send these three days trouble. Then you come across a word called Adi Shakti. And everybody to say that? Oh look, babies. Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. And we hear that? Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti means all the Shakti. All the Shakti. So they stand up, they're confused, perturbed, what to do, how to solve this problem. And from the Third Eye region, as the discourse went on, everybody contributed light that form Adi Shakti. But that discourse is long before she's called Durga. She does not have the name Durga when she's created. She did not even have clothes. She's born, she's created naked. And just like the baby, you could, some people will watch it and be perverted, some people will watch it and see innocence. This is the goddess. When you go by your Baba and your Baba gives you the yantra, the tabiz, janta, whatever you're wearing for God, and you open it, you might just see, or you see sometime on the Murti, you see Kali yantra or Shri yantra, and you'll see triangle, a whole set of triangle. And that triangle represents the divinity, the woman, the womb, the uterus. That is what it means. And you're calling on this divine creative process. Me and you could make whatever equipment, whatever machinery, but we cannot make a uterus work yet. You cannot take elements, air, wind, and water and make a child so far yet. Maybe one day they'll figure it out. But what you are recreating is the divine feminine power, and that is what we worship. This feminine power now has been demonized. So you get so confused that you do not understand Navratram is 9 forms of Durga. Now we hear, but Kali Mata, we hear about, give me an next form from Navratram. All the same names, Skan Mata, Gauri Mata, right, Kalratri. So if Navratram is 3 nights Saraswati, 3 nights Lakshmi, 3 nights Durga, is asked man, where Kali Mata 15? With a whole discourse going. And we as Hindu people take this chain off because we demonize the same lady you are praying to. No other religion does that. Could you imagine I go to the church or I go to a masjid and I am demonizing my own religion? I am looking down at my own faith. Okay, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. That's different. Don't demonize what you don't understand. For example, there are different pundits that have different surnames. I hear about people named Shastri. That name means, I don't understand what I mean. That means the person has mastered the Shastras. Dubey, Chaubey. Dubey means I have mastered 2 Chaubey, I have mastered 4 Gosai means Gosai, the holder of the cow, from the cow, or the knowledge. Gosai people or sages that have reached a height, when they die, they bury them in salt. Have you ever seen a funeral? If you go on YouTube and you search for Srila Prabhupada's funeral, Hare Krishna, you will see dead body is flat like how I'm sitting, into a pit, and 100 pounds, a few hundred pounds of soul to cover the body. Preserving the body, allowing the earth to naturally feed off the energy. This frame that has done so many Hawan charities, different type of prayers. I never see that. You don't demonize it. You learn more about it. Likewise, there are different section, denomination of Hinduism. There are some people, when they have funeral, they scrape underneath the foot of the dead as part of the ritual. You don't understand it, that's fine. Find a way to do that for. Learn, understand, learn to appreciate. You go as a tourist to any country and they have something going on. You say, wow, what does that represent? Why is that so? You don't demonize it. You rise above it. You look for the good in it. And in doing it, you grow as a person. I never thought about that. But as a Hindu, we worship, wow, the plants, the earth, the fire, the sun, the moon, the sky. Wow, God really lives everywhere. I never thought about that. That's a real good way to think. Maybe I should think like that. In this way, you'll realize that when you think like that, you're able to understand yourself first. Because we as Hindu people are very confused. Truthful. Many pundits, many of our leaders, my brothers, and I'm speaking to my younger pundits too, please do not get catch in this trap that other people have laid. We know very well the construct of the Vishnu and how he comes as Krishna Ram. We know the discourses of Lord Shiva when he comes as Lingam and Ling Baba, Bhairu Baba, this Baba. Why Brahma has 4 heads, why we don't do Brahma Puja. Anybody can tell me what is the Parsad for Brahma? Sweet rice, some plum, fig. Yeah, that. Think what's in. You go say the Trinity, right? And I will visit. And I hear about Shiv Puja, Vishnu Puja, but I never hear about Brahma Puja flag Parsad. Because we don't do his puja. That is correlated to the Bhairav Katha. So I'm learning as I go. I'm learning, right? I know I touch it, I'll explain. That's not a nightfall. But who really made, who really made Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva? When you say you believe in Kali Mata, right? And you believe in Devi, what that means? You know where you will tell me? I just feel something. Let me put it like a child. I say it like a child. I feel good. I just feel good. I like it. But Bhagavad Gita tell you, believing in prayers is good. Knowing why you believe in it is better. Knowledge becomes a raft that takes you across this life. Because one will give you our flowers, offered by the Murti. Okay, I'll do it. I'm an obedient person. I'll do that. Somebody come and ask you why you do it. I have no idea. The truthful answer, my mother tell me to put it. The Baba tell me to put it. I don't know why I put it. Tonight, of all the people that was corrupted with doubt, Bhagavad Gita talks about doubt. Doubt could break you. Because if you have doubt when you're in trouble, dog better than you. If you have doubt when you have trouble, and the wrong person comes to whisper in your ears, no, you're in trouble. Those vices, advice, sometimes you have to be careful who you're getting advice from. And unless you're strong, but people say strong, but we're strong. You ever see a big muscular man cry like a baby? We're talking about physical strength. We're talking about having all the degrees behind your name. Because when your father or your mother die, you can have what qualifications when you cry like a baby. Strength sometimes refers to your strength in your feet. When somebody says, I believe in something, know what you believe in. Tonight, let me discuss just a little bit because Brahma was confused at one point. There's no discourse tonight. He did not know head from tails what he was doing. We look at him as a whole boy who knows everything. That's the concept, right? When you're watching it in your movies. Creator. What about when the creator knows what he's doing? Remember last time we were talking about baking the cake and you know the recipe? That is something. The best of the cook I know when to throw salt in that pot. How much to throw? Let me go tonight, everybody. Please put your hands together. We're going to do something. This is where you are asking permission to hear something that will help you. There must be a reason to make the sacrifice to come to hear about your mother. You must leave with something in your pocket, in your heart. And Mom, about to hear something, please bless me to understand and bless me to remember. Gauri Shambhu Gira Guru Govinda Ganapati Gang Sumire Vyasa Bhasha Karta So as I said before, I'm reading from Book 3, chapters 1 to 6, Daily Bible. John Vijay, the great-grandson of Arjun, sitting with Vyas Muni, is asking, you just described, last time we talked about the rules for listening to Devi Baba. Out of everything I said, I think we could walk away with the Mayan, the pumpkin and the onion. But remember the need for celibacy, sleeping on the ground. Remember those rules about honesty. Don't be the person, don't get caught. I offer him dar. Father's light from your teeth. And his teeth. Bow offering dar. Don't get that. If you're going to offer flowers, try offering that flowers with the sweetness of being honest and straightforward. Imagine, let me put it at practical terms. I hire somebody to cut my lawn. I go in and offer my darb and I'll try to duck the guy so I don't have to pay him. I'll try, I'll scheme it. I'll get away. I'll close my tight when I offer any darb so I don't have to pay the person. Then who are you fooling? Think about that. Tonight, John Vijay says, who is Ambika Devi? You said all these things about the fasting, the preparation, all that good. But who is that goddess you keep talking about? When was she born? I understand that there's Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Surya Narayan Swami, Indra Dev, there are so many of them. All of them have their respective duties. Who is subservient? Who is on top? Who is below? I have a major problem understanding this, Guruji. It is hard to pray and to focus when you do not know what you're focusing on. I understand that there are some people, last time we heard there are people, Shakta, Vaishnava, Shivite, people who hold to different forms. Please understand that. We don't identify who we pray to by a region. I'm from Princestown in Trinidad. I don't call myself a Princestown Hindu. There are some people who make that mistake. We do not identify by district or country. We identify by the core beliefs. There are people, for example, who are Shivite, that are a little more, and I want to use the word dread, than you and I. You see, if we were to see, just to understand this point, yeah? If we were to see Lord Shiva in his true form, you and me may not want to sit down next to that person. Imagine. You see that pretty Murti whoever he did in here? Looking nice and smile and they put on all the nice things in? Please take out that from your mind. This is a man that stopped combing his hair many, many moons ago. This is Rasta here. This is jangs and locks. This is not neatly plait here. Take out that. This is jangs. This is clumps of hair that is so not beaded, not washed, not combed, that it just clumped together so. This is somebody go when they're burning the body and they're seeing the liquid and the hand raising on the fire so. Then see the person go and cut the ashes and well plated his skin. That is the person we're talking about. This person has venomous snakes on his body, naked. When you hear the discourse, if you look at the discourse where he in the Nataraj form when he dancing, watch under his foot, you see a little kind of dwarf, a little demon. They have a little discourse with that. And that is where he get the tiger skin that he wear on his waist. If you go when it's Kumbh Mela in the Rishikesh area, all the Naga sadhus that come down there, stone cold naked. So most of the time, he's not wearing clothes. When me and you hold on to the clothes, that is vanity. That is I look good, understand me? We hold on to the jewelry. I want to adorn this body, but people that follow his lineage, his prayers, they don't hold to that. So the ladies don't put on makeup, and they don't put on all the fineries that we have, even if they live in those areas where they can get it cheap. In fact, if you go to now a further extreme form of a Shivite, a Goric person, oh boy, you're not going to like this fella at all. This fella looks at the cremation pyre as parsad. Listen to what I say. I go and I take my vogue in that hawan and I offer it. And I send back a little to the kitchen and then say, wow, God touched it. It's blessed. When they go, if you doubt me, go home and read it. Google it. Read it. These people, remember, if you understand a funeral service, you take the body and you give it to God. Krishna Arpan, please accept it. So when God burn it, it becomes sanctified. These people eat the flesh from the fire. They adorn their hair with finger bones. Different. You will see pink on the bone, on the beard and whatsoever. They maintain their urine in vessels and they use it in the future. So when you hear them there, they Baba, this thing else and they're talking that. It's the truth. What we are talking is the truth. Those are different forms of your religion. They worship. When you hear Bhutnath, when you hear Shashi Shekhar, understand Lord Shiva is a different animal. He is a different nature. And likewise, the lady that goes with that guy cannot be this sweet, nice, gentle person we would like to imagine God to be. This is the controller of the universe. Tonight we're going further than that. We're going back. Durga Mata doesn't have that red sari yet. Durga Mata does not have that name Durga when she destroys the demon Durgam. And Lord Vishnu says, from today I will call you Durga. That is where she get that name. That wasn't she name in the beginning. This is before in Mahabharata, when you hear Bhagavad Gita, Durga appears to Yudhishthira just before Gita starts. And she says, why are you worried? Go, I'm with you. Krishna is driving, but my force is with you. Who are you going to lose to? And Arjuna still came and had doubts since Gita passed. This is before. There is no earth. We like to say, Devi come in Tulsi form, Shaligram discourse, Lingam different form. This is before all of that. This is going back further. Because this doubt that he's asking, here we are. He says, what is the body of Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma? What it is made up of? Does it constitute the elements? Is it like you and I? Vyas Muni says, this doubt filled me once. And I spoke to Narad Muni. And I asked him, who is more knowledgeable? He was sitting by the bank of the Ganga. And who is greater? Is it Mahadev? He is the one who controls Ganga. He is Mahadev, the greatest Dev. Is he the one who creates, preserves, and destroys everything? When they say the word destroy, it's confused young children. Recycle. Let me say the word recycle. So in school we talk about the energy, the atomic energy is used to make solid, liquid, and gas and made different way. And then there comes a point where it crumbles and it is used. The carbon is used to make other things. That same carbon could be used to make the steel in the dandal, and the same carbon is what goes to make diamond. The difference is pressure, force. The same thing constitute. When you hear somebody says animate, inanimate, all belong to Durga. It means in any form, the atomic structure is the same. It constitutes, it is made up of all, everything that on this earth. We might look fair, we might look dark, but at the core of our being, carbon, the atomic structure is the same. So who really in charge? I've heard, Guruji, some pundits believe Vishnu to be the one who is superior to all. He is omnipresent. He is the deliverer. He comes upon the earth and he enacts leelas that bring about great amount of blessing. Some say Brahma is the cause of everything. He is the stimulator of the creative force. Guruji, Vyas Muni, Narad Muni in this case, Vyas is asking, I'm very confused. I've heard Surya Narayan Swami is the center of the universe. And he is the one who is in control of the Mahadasa, Antadasa, all the different patra terms and terminology. I hear Indra is the god of the Devatas. He's the king of the heavenly region. He has a major play in the Yagya. Who is really running the show? Varun Dev, Somdev, Yamraj, Kubir, all different books talk all of them as important. When on the 30th of August, Ganapati will come to play, and he's the one removing all the obstacles. There's a discourse where in Brahma Puran, Krishna incarnates as Ganesh. If you ever hear that discourse, that is the discourse that explains why Ganesh Baba, Mota, Big Ben. Watch all the details. Everybody just go to gym. But Ganesh Baba, different. And why? In that discourse, there's a the answer. She was praying for a child, begging. And she did great put Shrishti Yagnan. Little confusion, I think, with Lord Shiva, and he wanted Lord Shiva's Dachnan, all kind of different things happening in the stressful, the prayers done, she feed everybody leave, she pack up she kitchen, she clean up, literally just clean up, and knock at the door. Old, tattered clothes, nasty, smelling, old sadhu. Parvati Mata, Shiva Baba, I've been praying to all you, Krishna in disguise. And I depend on you for sustenance. If you don't feed me now, I will die. I need you to save me now. She said, oh, come inside, come. I had prayers, come. And she put him down. See it in your mind, and she started to take out food. If you ever went to the feast that they have in the Hare Krishna temple, and she started to take out takai, making circle, going back in the kitchen, more takai, next circle. So the old, thin, meager, starving old man said, Ma, it had different kind of mother, different definition to a mother. When a person feed you, that is your mother. When a person scold you, that is your mother. And there are 10 different definitions for a mother. And they had a nice little talk. He said, Mom, when he look around and he see the food, Mommy, at your behest, at your rate, at the rate you going, when you done, I'll be very fat. She said, then let it be so. Become fat with the love of this mother. So said, so done. He take that. He did not touch the food. Disappeared. They searched high and low, could not find money. But on the bed, the Akashvani says his son is here. Krishna has incarnated as Ganesh. In some form, you will see Ganesh with a blue and a yellow dhoti like Krishna, but this Ganesh. This is why, just to let you know, as passing information, this is why Ganesh Baba is not a gym-going person. Parvati Mata Press did that. Is Ganesh Baba the supreme being? I am confused. Then Narad Muni. I heard something about Adi Maya, the great Bhavani, the great Shakti, the giver of everything. She is the, understand when somebody says this fancy word, Prakriti, you hear it in Gita. Let me just use for Prakriti, the female form, and Purusha is the male form. Male and female come together, life continues. I heard that she has the blessing that she is inside of everything. So we call this orange flower, we call this yellow flower, it looks different, but she is the inert that make this live. What give it water? It doesn't look different. We might call one Murti Shiva, we might call one Vishnu, but the inside is the Devi, the one thing that is common in everybody. I'm just using examples for children to understand. Is she superior? She is without beginning, she is without end, she is constant. Time respects her. Time will come and go. Satyug Dwapar coming around. But she remains constant. She does not become old. She is the one who manifests. I have been told Vaishnavi, Shankari, Rudrani, Brahmani, Vaishnavi, Varuni, Varahi. She is there with all of them in female form. Is she the root of this thing we call the universe? We are not talking about the earth. We're talking more than that. Our concept sometimes, and this is where the Hindu goes a little step further. I heard somebody criticizing Hindus one day and said, they don't stupid other people. You ever see an elephant on a human body? You ever see a lion on a human body? So God who runs the entire universe is limited to how you and I look. Think about it. Your concept of God is justice. I look like this, or he look like this. There are some people that believe God only lives in the four walls of his house. He cannot pervade in anything else. The Hindu goes a step further and he says, in every plant, in every race, in the water, the sea, the fresh water, the land, the sky, the sun, every planet. For everybody who get the Patra read and you understand the effect of what the moon does to the sea when it's full moon, new moon. You ever hear somebody say moving like the moon? Follow me? When the moon comes close to you, it is look full moon, look big, bright in the sky. When the new moon, it gets back a little bit, but when it comes close on the magnetic pull, let me just pretend it raised the waves, pulling the water up. The water in your body, urine, tears, blood, etc. When that moon comes close, if I slap you, you cry. The next day when it pulls back a little further, I slap you, you laugh. As the moon is changing, your mood is changing. What is Patra? Patra is you. We're talking about the moon, what it's doing here. Go, Saturn, Mars, etc. So beyond our concept, now we know how our people who never had telescope, other than the images that is put in your mind, I don't know how they describe the planets. How did they know it had different planets in the solar system? Think what I say. Me and you wouldn't know that unless we watch Google. But people who did not even have glasses knew that it had planets and different places that exist and it is impacting on me. Is it that this lady is the cause of all of this? Let us go, Guruji, let us go to the root so I could understand where I come from and what I am praying to. Don't let me get confused with praying to Brahma, to Vishnu, to Shiva, all the different type of Shiva, all the different type of Vishnu. You still have people in this life. I love Rama alone. I love Krishna alone. Think about what we say in here. If all of this is the same content, do you love yellow flowers alone? But all the flowers is the same lady. Everything you are thinking, you're fighting for land. You're trying to tell him, if you want to be called Swami, you have to be able to watch mud, stone, and gold and see the same value. Baba, I don't fight for gold and I don't really care about that. But you have some Indian love mud, boy. Land. Don't make the thing now with rice and sugar in it is. Make it with mud and put it in the box and the whole. When you understand what you're fighting for, when you understand your role, you become, as we get into this chapter, you become like a dot in mother. You know, people think mother is in me. Tonight, just for 1 second, based on what you're about to hear, realize you are a dot inside of mother. Sometimes we think, Mommy living in the Murti. So she submitted the address at night and I come. And when I leave the temple and the bad ways continue to share the semen, many people do that. Think about it. And then to put it in perspective, where we reach yet, where we're going, follow me. Just where we reach, a dot. We are a speck of sun inside the house of mother, but you have time in your mind to condemn the lady you belong to. I like Saraswati, I like Lakshmi. I'm saying it to get the point in your head. I like Durga, but I hate that one called Kali. I don't understand Kali. That's what you're supposed to say. I don't know why she looked like that. I wish I knew. Then you're talking. Let me agree. That's a good point to start. Principal Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Narad Muni was more lost than Vyas. Imagine you're going to ask somebody for advice and help or guidance. And the person comes back and says, you know the answer, I'm more lost than you. Narad Muni said that. I have been roaming from place to place. I sit at the foot of Lord Vishnu. My constant mantra is Narayana, Narayana. I have access to everything. And I still don't know the answers to what you're asking me. He says, because of that, I myself went to my father Brahma. Narad Muni is the son of Lord Brahma. And he says, Daddy, see anything I which children understand, Daddy, I am very confused about the creation of this thing called the universe. I know you have your rule, and I understand Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu and everything, and I love you all. But where did it really come from? He says, son, I was in the same position. Please listen, everybody, let me go tonight. As he's about to start answering. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Ram Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Ram Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. After asking the same question again, who is the core? Understand that this is something we don't normally ask. When you go to listen to Ramayana, when you go to listen to Bhagavad, you are absorbing what is being dispensed. But you do not go and ask, what is the truth to the creation? What is the hidden hand behind everything? Why is it that Hindus have forms that do not exist on this earth? Why is it that in an age where we are now discovering the electric car and all these other technological things, Hinduism spoke of flying vehicles that move Sri Ram, for example, from Lanka at rapid light speed back to Ayodhya, and you could not conceptualize the bicycle yet. Why is Hinduism talking about Narad Muni like in Spider-Man context, you have the Silver Surfer jumping from world to world to world to world to world? How did you know it had world to world to world? This is where you're going to that depth in your Dharma. He says, Daddy, please tell me what was going on in the beginning. Brahma says, listen, son. When I realized, when I was aware of myself the first time, that initial moment when I opened my eyes, I was sitting on the lotus flower. I'm reading, for those of you that are watching, chapter 2, book 3, I am on verse 13. I was sitting on the lotus flower, and as far as I could see around me was water. There is no land. There is no planet. There is no solar system, there is no sun, there is nothing. Just water without current, without air, without anything to interfere with this glass-like surface. I stood there and I was looking on and I did not know what to do next. When I looked down, I only saw the stalk of the flowers, the lotus. I did not know where I was, who I was, and what I was doing. The question came into my mind when you listen to Bhagavad Gita and you hear Sa, Sat, Chit, Anand. Chit. Your chit. There's a fancy word that just means the voice that is talked to you in your mind. Layman terms, easy terms. That is God. Lord Shiva is in charge of the chit. He's the one that says, Baba wanted to wear the red kurta. And something in your head is, you're going to look fat. Don't do it. I want to go to work, follow me. I want to go to work and I'm going to take the left road. Take the right road. Change. You want to do something, but something in your head is always telling you, really, do this, do that. I agree, do it that way. Do it this way. Sadhu came tonight to sing a bhajan in the satsang. And he really make up his mind to sing Ganesh. But when he reached, Sadhu Baba was singing a wonderful Devi song. And something in his head said, change that song. When you think you're in charge, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know how this works with you. You in charge, right? My body, my decision. I know I want to eat Baba. I know I want to wear Baba. I know I want to sing Baba. Sure? If you start to listen to that chit when people say, I listen to the God internally, then you're going to realize how much you're really in charge of. That is why when they're doing the funeral, go back and you go see. And they just take out one, they rest it down the box, 2, 3, and they go in. Ganesh come out, Durga come out, Shiva come out, Vishnu come out, Surya come out. The 5 elements that guide you. Where does Durga Mata sit in your body? In your stomach as fire. Baba, it has fire inside of me. I didn't know. But you know it. She says in a latter part in Devi Bhagavat, I will sit inside of you, child, and I will teach you how to live, what to do. But it's my life, Baba. What are you saying? You know, Durga talking to me. True. And I said, I leave here very late. When I went home, I phoned the TV. My TV, I want to watch my TV. 1, 2, 3 TV was watching me. My eye just started burning. Like if it have a fire in my eye. And Durga is saying, child, it's time to sleep. Close your eyes. I went to work and left to me. I really worked through lunch. But then my stomach started burning. And mother is saying, child, stop and eat. If it wasn't for your stomach burning, how would you know when it's time to go 1 or 2? Toilet time. Truthfully, your mother is sitting with you, telling you, do this, do that. Come on, get up. Come on. She literally says, if you watch the Durga Murti, you know on the lion, the foot kick off on the left side, you don't see the right foot, but you see the left foot. That foot have a reason. Vashish Muni is the one who we have to discuss one day. He's the one who is in charge of developing the Kaula Upanishad that deals with tantric worship. You see, when people start to dance, have you ever wondered why when Shakti comes in, people start to rock? One day we'll discuss it in Hijab. Don't worry, I'll explain it for you. When you do the mudra where your finger touching where this ring is in my hand, right hand, at the base of the finger, your thumb supposed to come across. So. And when the person who has the energy touch the other person, and you activate the chakra, and something is happening, simple language, something is happening to this person now. Vashish Muni, Godfather Shriram, is the person who writes that whole science. He went into, he wanted to learn what he did not know. And in that section is where they talk about things like what we're talking about here. The Devi, for worship. And when you are doing this type of prayer, why you do what you do. Principal Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Brahma once, with that chit speaking to him, why was I born? This is the same Brahma who spoke about it, please understand. Where am I born on this ocean, this great ocean? How did I reach here? Who created me? Who is my protector? I'm here alone. If something should attack me, who's going to safeguard me? Poor Brahma don't have a weapon in his hand. And what am I supposed to do? That chit says, you are the creator, start to create. So he says, I must find mud, mati. You know that word mati? Matikor? The act of matikorna. When we're going to make murti, when we're going for wedding, mati mean, I'm going to worship the mud, and korna, I'm going to tote. I'm going to bring the mud. So that the wedding and the witness, who is the witness? The Devi. In that moment, you could do way of one. Ganesh Baba is the Devta that is sit on the wedding ring. Baba, the girl feels you're going to marry this fella, sit down and bless them, so that when the sun hit the stone by Ganesh Baba mantra, it shoots into the right hand ring finger and bless the person aura, that they must learn to tolerate and understand each other. That is how you bless wedding ring. But it cannot happen if that mud does not come. When the wedding finished, they carry back the mud. In this case, Brahma says, I must find this mati, this mud, and he dives off the flowers into the water and pulls onto the stalk and traces. It's going down, going down, going down to find, well, the flowers have to be growing somewhere. But he's not finding anything. I dived, O sun, into that water, and I searched for 1,000 years, and I could not find earth. Celestial voice told me, Akashvani says, O fool, female voice, O fool, go and do tapasya. We'll discuss what is tapasya or austerity another night. Hearing this voice, I went back where I was, wet now, and I sat down and I slowly thought about the voice and what she looked like and what she might be, because I didn't know the mantra. I don't know, there's no murti. Understand what I'm saying? There is no fire for you to think about a dear light. There is nothing. But she is dear. The voice came from somewhere. And he sat down and he studied what she must look like, what she must be, who she is. And 1,000 years elapsed, Onara. And again the chit in my mind says, okay, good. After this amount of prayer, start to create. And my immediate answer was what to do. Because I don't know what I'm doing. He says, son, in that moment, from that water, I saw rising out of the water, lying on that bed of Sheshnag, a huge, bloated, dark fella. The lotus now looked as if it was linked to his navel, like a long snake. I was sitting on something that was going from his navel. Lying up on this snake is Mahavishnu, but I did not know him. As he lay there, two great demons came and attacked. Nindra. In this text it says Nidra. Nidra is the goddess that puts you to sleep. Think what I say. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samsita. Mother, you are the energy that allows me to understand what makes a baby sleep. If you could describe that. Something calms you down, slow your heart rate, calm down your mind, and 1, 2, 3, you go somewhere. And then somehow, well, not everybody just wake up in the morning, some people left them to sleep all day. But let me say for the elders, you get accustomed. You see when that hour reach Baba, I know something is happening. And I open my eye. The force is similar to that. He says, Lord Vishnu, Nidra was lying on him, keeping him suppressed, sleeping. And when the two demons, Madhu and Kaitam, came, she got up, she lifted herself off of him. And without her Maya, Lord Vishnu immediately woke up and started the fight. This is where the Ravan and the Kumkaran, the many, Mahisasur, the Hiranyakashipu, all those people, these are the same two fellas reborn time after time after time. This is where it started. And I sat down there and I saw this entire thing play in front of me. God fight God and the war. And at the end of it, the climax was Lord Vishnu threw them on his leg and he killed them. And when this happened, they looked up, and Brahma, Vishnu is there, and Lord Shiva came to celebrate the winning of good over bad. And the three of them stood there, and a Devi is looking at them from further up from where they are. Devi says, I'm so happy, I'm so proud, I'm so pleased. Go ahead now and do your job. Brahma create, Lord Vishnu sustain, Lord Shiva recycle the energy, the matter. Brahma says, Ma, maybe you are understanding me. I don't know what to do. I don't know who you are. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I am made of. I don't understand what I have to do. I cannot do it. He says, I am full of doubt. She smiles, and immediately a flying car, some people will say spaceship, appeared there, and she says, jump on. Don't worry, don't have no fear, and I will teach you what you need to know. Seeing this appear without fear, we did go in, and we started to move. Brahma was very astonished to see very quickly from where they was. They moved. And in a different place. Now, beautiful scenery. It was as if they had gone to a different area, a different place in heaven. Now it had trees, green grass, different birds. And they saw the Devi Ambika racing in a chariot, dressed in beautiful sari and gold. And in a moment, notice again, they whisked away. They saw Surabhi, the cow, standing under a parijat tree with the beautiful flowers. Going to a different lok. In Hinduism, we use the word lok. When you go and you watch your Doctor Strange, he say realm and, what was the word that is used? For children? The multiverse thing? Realm, right? When you're watching a TV show, understand that show have a lot of Hinduism in it. The existence, and that is what they're trying to show here. The existence in different planes. In a different place they went, and elephants had 4 tusks. The mother-in-law of Lord Shiva, who will become what is called Parvati Mata's mother, she is doing Shiv Puja. Different characters are doing their job. Kubir is having a show in his palace. Whisked away again. Shambhu and Keshav are having a conversation in Golok. And Brahma is very confused because how could these things exist? None of it existed where we were. They go in a different place. Vishnu, remember, Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma are on this vehicle and they are moving. But in one of the places they go, and Saraswati Mata is playing the Veena and Brahma is listening. So Vishnu and Maheshwar say, who is he? If you are Brahma, who is this person? And I, Narad, was very confused. Because here I was in a different time, different place, different realm, existing, carrying on. And I did not understand the decisions that were being made in front of me. In the twinkling of an eye, they reached to the Kailash Parvat. And all the Ganas are carrying out Abhishek for the Lingam on days like today. On days like today, with the Lord Shiva Day, with the Som Pradosh, people bathe the Lingam, do puja, etc. And that was happening. Lord Vishnu says, is that your puja they are doing? Do you know what is happening here? And Lord Shiva himself did not understand what is going on. And they're going from place to place. They're seeing the matrikas. They visit Vaikunt. And of course, there's a Vishnu lying on Sheshnag. But here is a Vishnu in the chariot. What is this? They go again, going higher, higher, going up more. And they reached a place called Manidweep. Manidweep is considered to be a place that is reserved. Only great souls get to go there. A soul has to be great has to achieve really, really goodness to reach that level of mukti. And what Brahma sees is a divine lady wearing red garments and garlands, dressed. Her body has, like how we put the Tripunda tilak, but red sandal piece. Her eyes are bloodshot red, and she has only females attending to her. The voice inside his head said, "This is Bhagavati Bhuvaneshwari." When you are doing Dasma Vidya Puja, that is where you will hear names like Chinamas, Matangi, Baglamukhi, etc. Different forms, same name. One of them is Bhuvaneshwari Mata. Having a wonderful smile, the three fellas come off the plane, but as their foot touch Manidweep, as they touch the island, if you've ever seen the three of them in female form, they transform now from male to female in order to exist around her. Because of the allure, the attraction of this female, there cannot be any sexual or lusty thoughts. So in this discourse, they transform the female. In a different text, they are transformed into children, babies, spinning and toddling, gooing and guying in front of their mother. She saw them, and all their fear was removed. This lady whose body radiated the light, the energy, the taste. Who is this lady? Brahma still wanted to know what is her name. Narad, very embarrassed that we three stood there and we were wondering, is she an Apsara, Gandharva? Is she a Devi? Who is she? And then one of the, let's say, the assistant forms that was there spoke to her. Let's hear what happens in this sloka, everyone. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. They stood there in awe, very awkward. Who is she? She's not saying anything. And the assistant says, this is the yogic energy. This is the female energy. This is the will force of everything. She is the one who makes creation. She is the one who allows the will of Vishnu to sustain everything happen. Lord Shiva says, let there be destruction. Let me start a dance and let the mountains crumble. When you hear people talk about that Tandav Stotra, but she is the one who is carrying out the destruction. I could press the button on the microwave, but it's the energy inside the microwave with cooking the food. I will it, but I don't do it. And there is the difference. Lord Vishnu is the personality who says, yes, let this happen. But the energy or the Shakti that is doing it is something called Mother. She is the goddess of all. This entire universe is her in different form. Some people will say oak tree, cedar tree, tulsi tree. Red dirt, white dirt, it have white dirt, black dirt. We look and put plasters to separate each other. Some call them Muslim, some call them Shakti, some call them Agoric. We put the label. All belong to she, truthfully. But when the real sin is the politics, when people come to pervert your mind and say, oh, it have a difference. Here the Devi says, in the eyes of the Param Atma, Jiva Atma is equal, equally divided in every aspect of this universe. And she is the source, and we like some little mosquito flying around this light. There is no difference, part and parcel of the same. For this reason, she has called you here to remind you of what you already know. Thus begin. Lord Vishnu is the one who says, then we are truly blessed to have arrived here to see her true form. And for that, we should bow. Lord Shiva, Devi, and Brahma, let us bow to Devi. And even if those female attendants, now listen to who is talking. Lord Vishnu is saying, even if those female attendants do not allow us to proceed closer to her, this is not about touching the murti, touching the feet. You ain't going to do that. You're at a distance. We will stand like beggars and say our prayer, and maybe, hopefully, she will have mercy on her children. The three of them knelt down there, and with choked voices, they started to pray and call on that mother in names that they did not know about. Let me do 2 verses. Everybody put your hand. Pranam Tam Mahadevi. You put your hand together. You need blessings too, son. Thank you. Purataha samstitam yavahe. Purasa lokayamtaha stire rupani shitala. Padapanta prapyane namami shashishekari. Sarva koti pratakale stitiya mahadevi. Divyai sarvaha shubha karani chita trayambakarini. Vidyarambe mahadevi Purvacharya Purvakali. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. We bow to you, Mother. We stand here in this female form with limited offering. We stand at your pedestal and we bow to you, O Devi. Wearing all the different gowns, wearing colors, skin color, dark, yellow, white, red. Mother, we see you in every hue. Our knowledge of instrument fail. We stand here and we realize that you within your nail, you know your nail grow long, your little nail inside that nail contain the entire universe. That standing in there, we see the Vishnu, we see the Rudra, we see the Vayu, we see the Agni, we see the mountain, we see everything. By your grace, it exists. But Mother, when a person has the opportunity to understand your vast nature, from the small form to the big form, Mother, what an opportunity. For 100 years, they sat there, praying, reciting, contemplating about the opportunity that had presented itself to them. They remained there singing her praises, chanting her name, and Lord Vishnu, Namo Divyai Prakriti Cha Vidyadatre Satatam Nama Kalyana Kamadayascha Vriddhi Siddhi Namostute. He starts to chant Mother, may you please allow us to know the secret, what you have, what is our purpose, what did you create us for. Let us go and do our work. Ma, I now realize who you are. When Shankar, Brahma, and myself come from your energy, we are manifestations of your form. Our Leela is being done and created and carried out by your behest. Mother, if I am a son, then you are my Ma. There is nothing else in this world other than you. And if I humble myself in that reality, I will always dwell in your realization. Devi says, let Vishnu be the preserver, let Shiva be the recycler, the destructor, and let Brahma control the creative forces that is necessary when things are now coming, when things are evolving, when things are developing. And in this way, they prayed to Prem Sabolo Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Let's go again. As this slok tells us what Mother started to tell them before they left. Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram Ram, Sita Ram Ram. She says, you are born from my gunas, from my aspects, from my good ways, my mediocre ways, my best ways, my opinions, my likes. In Bhagavad Gita, you hear about Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Shiva is coming from the Tamogun. Brahma is coming from the Rajogun, and Lord Vishnu is the Satogun. So she answered the question where they come from. She says, go I will give you all the weapons. I will give you power. I will empower you. I will give you the position. Lord Vishnu, you will be the one day they will put you as the actor. For 10 times you will come upon the earth in different avatar to inspire and to invoke goodness, to re-establish Satwik. You will do that work for me. Shiv Baba, you will be there to dance the Tandav dance and to bring about that part of the Leela, what is called Mahapralaya, when everything comes to an end. You will do my bidding, O sons. I will give you all the weapons. When you hear from Shipran how Lord Vishnu gets the Sudarshan Chakra from Lord Shiva. One day I'll read that discourse. Listen to this, please. I will give you everything. Remember when I read in here for you? I will give you all the fame, glory, power, weapon, whatever you desire, I will give it to you. But don't let people sully my name. Don't let people drag my phone. You ever see Lord Vishnu fight Kali Mata? We as Hindus like to attack our own goddess, right? Kali temple. We do that. But the Shiva, the Brahma, the Vishnu, they never go against that Devi. They ask Lord Vishnu in Bhagavad, he asked, Mother, I want to go upon the earth as Ram, as Krishna. Will you allow me? Will you go with me? Lady, if you give me that support, I will propagate your worship. Who brings about Durga Puja? That's same Krishna. We have more satsang to do, and I'll explain in that discourse how Ram does Devi Puja, how Krishna did it. In all that you know, I don't need to rehash all this. You know your Dharma, you're a Hindu. Which one fought Devi? But Baba, I saw a picture where Kali Mata is on the chest of Lord Shiva. I saw that. They fight in them Hindu god to fight. Baba, I heard you talk about the daughter of Lord Shiva, while he is far from soul. Ashok Sundari. And Durga Mata wanted to lick down Lord Shiva when he cut off Ganesh Baba's head. When you hear people talk about Leela, there's a reason for that to happen. And in it, when it did happen, if you go into the discourse, it was to stop destruction. That is why Lord Shiva laid there to absorb that power. It's a wonderful discourse. But if we go into that now, we're going to be between Bhagavad all night. The mantra was chanted here. She says, when you need me, after she gave them, what does she give them? This is the moment. She says, I will create Saraswati for you, Brahma. I will create Lakshmi for you, Vishnu. And he says, Shiva, because of your power and your rawness, you need a Devi, somebody that will stand with you equal. Not subservient. In human culture, we like to believe the lady has to stand behind and the man stands in front like God. Well, God, see if you can make a child on your own. If you believe in that lady, how come you mistreat the lady in your life? Then, brother, they have a fool bigger than you. In our Dharma, you worship the uterus inside your body, because that is doing what no man could do. In our Dharma, that force that is feminine is found not only in the animal kingdom, not only the human race, but anywhere in this universe. This is why sometimes the forms that you worship, the Varahi form, where mother has a boar head and a human frame, it do exist, we agree. It does not exist. But it may exist in a different place, a different planet, etc. It's just we don't know yet. As the Hindu is growing and they learn the correct thing. Gone are the days when other religions come and they say, you see, that way doing, like Chumbi worship. That have to come up. What did she ask them? She didn't ask them for Lapsian Sahari. You read this Bhagavad cover to cover and you show me anybody looking like, find it. Show me which part it mark Lapsian Sahari, Puri and sweet rice. Any one of them. You know what I talk about? Fruits that have seeds. Things that are offered with love. Because if a young girl cannot make puri, she can't do Durga Puja. And the truth is not that. Offer fruits that are in season. That is not Ratan rule. Fruits that are in season. Offer what you can afford. That is the criteria. What is the sense? You spend all the money to get whatever. But when you want, God, look how they will find that person. They want to put all the person in the fire. Oh, like $2 gone there. Like $4 gone there now. And you have that griping attitude. Better you do offer it. Don't do it. Whatever you give by that multi, whatever you give to that fire, or you give in charity like the little girl, give it with a free heart. So sometimes it have rules, I agree. We do it this way, we do it that way. Some of those things, yes, I agree. That could be the human rule. What does Devi ask for? Do not let them sully my name. That is all she asked him for. And after that, Lord Vishnu bowed his head. She gave him the 9 syllable, the Navakshara mantra, Om, Pring, Shring, Chandikaya, Nama. She says, use that. Call me when you need me. When you need backup, when you ain't a catch, and you need to come out, call me. Hence, you have 4 discourses for the 4 Narata. Ma, we know how to beat Mahisasura. Mother, come now. Adi Shakti form, boom. Durgam killing everybody. Mother come now. She come and she appear with she red sari. Yeah, I ready for you. No problem. How did they know to call? Because of this discourse. This is when, as I said, there's no human yet. There's no money. There's no puja. There's no hawan. None of that existed at this time. But mother gave her instructions to her children. Tonight, as I do my short conclusion, no way it is you believe them. In this life, in this house, in this temple, and in your homes, you are the Brahma, the Vishnu, the little devatas. And you have your beliefs. But don't let people confuse you. When you believe in something, do it right. Be honest. Do it right. Be respectful. Don't fool yourself. Don't be so stupid to think God lives in the temple but you don't live outside. Don't do that. Don't do it. You're fooling yourself. And when things happen bad in your life, well, how Durga Mata let that happen? God laid happen on you. God is the cause of every bad thing happening to you, not you. When you pass the exam, you see how hard I work. When you get the raise, you see how good I am. The boss loves me. But when bad things happen, you see what God do. You deceive with children. When the child pass the exam, you see how the son do. When the boy do something bad, you see what the son bring. That time is somebody else's son. Every mother who's around here, the concept is sometimes a little skewed, but I wanted to understand. There's a reason why Indian people have a predisposition to diabetes. We were starved. Understand what diabetes is? We were starved as a people. So your body learned we don't need too much sugar. Follow me. No other race does have it. No other race has a problem with diabetes. Your body tells you, slow down on the sugar. Stop, 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 stop. If you take no more, you'll guess it. If you take more, you'll guess it. So your body learned to now work with less. Depend on less. Many Indian people, forget Suriname, Guyana, Trinidad, forget that. Indian people have this problem. And this problem that you think God sent diabetes, it has a little human hand in it that we forget. In the Kalika Puran, Upa Puran, it says that in the age of Kali Yuga, people will forget themselves. People will forget their beliefs. People will forget their practices. Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, it says, how do you know what is Kali Yuga? Kali Yuga is when the mothers of the home, again it comes back to the mothers, the ladies, When the mothers of the home fail in their duty, please go home and test me. Go home and read it. Find it. The value of your home, the value that you have, is brought by one person, your mother. You are my first God. Why? Because your mother will teach you things nobody else will teach you. Wipe your mouth. Don't talk with your mouth open. Your mother teaches you things and break every bad habit. When your mother done with you, if this was you on your own karma, your mother puts you to a different point. But if the mother stopped teaching you, if the mother stopped giving you those little tidbits, babe, a little more salt in it, but it do taste good, you would be lesser of a person. This is why he says the person who works for the womb, again we're talking about womb. You didn't end up with that lady just so you know. You went birth to birth to birth to birth to end up inside of a frame genetically, giving you the strength. You weren't born with autism. Trust me, that is a blessing. You have 10 fingers, 10 toes. That didn't just come just so. This lady come forward, you're born, and she decided to teach you, babe, put your hand together, stop being lazy. That mother, you work for that. Because it have people who have less than. They are born into wombs where they get less training, less genetic material, less health, less nutrition, you name it. And they are going to grow up to be less than. But when you start in the good womb, you only get to project further because she starts you off with a high projectile. Who tell you pick up your drum and practice? When you was lazy, who tell you, hey, play that again, you're playing stupid. Think what I say. Everybody feel the good. In my time, I didn't know all the mantra. When you're 6 years old, you know it. And then your mother said, you feel it. And everybody didn't know the tables. Remember them days? And everybody tell them, Ma, I know my 7-time tables. And the lady make you realize, no, you don't. We all give ourselves this grade. We are great devotees. But if we divine mother really came down and really grade me, maybe in simple language, we would see the room to practice a little more discipline, maturity, understanding, get rid of the racial, the prejudice, and take out all them little stupid things that separate mother children from mother children. If we all become the children from one lady, this life gets very easy. It will be so easy to help feed hungry people, educate, see a child side the road and just help that child. The idea of doing seva, to do charity, comes so simple. But when you're studying, how are you going to help Christian boy? How are you going to call it and can't eat the food? You are hungry. Clearly, you're fat like me, and you're on the loss. You don't want to get fat. What's wrong with the food? When you make these things, you're taken away from your goddess. Please, tonight, I'm done. I'm finished. Don't feel like doing that.
No.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Then people are vexed with me. But tonight, pull yourself in the position of Brahma. Me, I'm checking you as a low person. I'm putting you as the Devta. Tonight, put yourself in that position. Truthfully, we need to understand ourselves and our God a little more. And when you get to know that God a little more, you might catch yourself in the taxi or the train talking to she right here. When you do Shiv Puja and you hear about Shiv Manas Puja is like when we go home side, we just go in the hospital to pray for people who have stroke and they lie down in the hospital bed. And I love, before COVID that was, I love to see them teenagers who like to tell their mother, I know what I do. I like to carry them. And let them go and see what bad behavior is lead to. And the same people in the bed, they listen to their mother and told you this. Go ahead and like me. It'll be a nice exercise. When they go in the hospital and they see what it is, then you will realize, wait now, one day this hand might not work. Big fuss, eh? I have to get the big terrier when I'm doing RT. The deer must look this way. I must wear this curta. I must be, I want to be the first person in line. We fuss about different things, right? I go on the temple and I'm telling you, I see war in it. Don't be one of these people. I alone could cook the pumpkin. I alone could throw the salt. I alone could sing that bhajan. You see this thing with these people saying, trouble. God bless these people like Hanuman Baba to fight battle when they come here. You know. It is take belly to be in temple. But it is meet the good, the bad, and the seriously ugly in this thing. Truthful. But if your focus is the God, these little things wouldn't trouble. If I get the offer by the lingam, I'm grateful. While my hands working, while my feet working, I will do it. Because one day they may not work. I may be on a bed. And the only place I can see that lingam is in my mind. Manas is mental worship. Close your eye, Pa, and see Lord Shiva. Remember, Jai Jai Bhagavata Bhagavata. Remember when it's to go in the temple with a piece of paper and it's to fight for the little person? Think about that. And let your mind go there. That time, all the fight over what you're wearing or what you're eating or where you sit. I could get to sit by the pundit. Yeah, I didn't get to sit by the pundit last time, that vexed. All them things seem real insignificant when you watch it like that. Please don't forget the lessons COVID teach you. Life short. You see how much people we lost? There are many people died and they were not ready to go.
You never told me I'm going to see you, not hear about you. Oh, wait, man. I can be sitting by the TV all the time.
When you walk away from this young Yeshala tonight, the story is finished. But in your story, understand who that lady is to you. That is it. Right? This is not about fixing some and leaving the rest. This is fixing you. You. If we fix you, this job, it works. If you understand that lady, come and sing a bhajan, come and offer your flowers, come and sit down and cry. Do what you have to do. Get up in the morning and you're cooking your roti and you talk to Shide, it works. It works. We are looking for nothing to manifest and jump and change and flowers. No. The lady has to activate inside of you, in your life, in your marriage, with your children, with your money, with your job right now because you have trouble. Last point. She says to Vashish Muni, he said, Ma, he did some prayers, and at the end of it, he says, Mother, I want to ask for a gift, I want to ask for a boon, as they say. She said, ask for what you want, and whatever it is, I'll give you. He said, Ma, if my devotion, which is, I'm just using this as an idea, it appeared, and it dropped away, pulled me back up. She said, very good. Good job. I will grant that wholeheartedly. I will take different forms to cause you trouble every day of your life. So Vashish Muni said, Ma, I sit on here and I well do my prayers. He was pleased. She said, I'm very pleased. He said, but Ma, how you going to punish me? She said, well, son, unless some people have hardship, pain, distress, trouble, they never pray. And they just ask me to raise it back up for you. Watch how your life works. Watch how your life works. When you have an issue, then God help me with the issue. Help me with the issue. This one sick, that one sick, that one birthday coming up, we celebrate another life. Blessed week, you have more time. And this lady is always coaching you in different ways. How to do, what to do. It's just sometimes, like Brahman them, we don't realize the truth. You don't realize there's somebody walking with you every day, telling you what to do, how to do, when to do, what to do. You want more ketchup on the chips. You don't want to eat pepper today. I don't feel I want to drink orange sweet drink. I want to drink black sweet drink. Decision to decision. There's somebody, but you forget to acknowledge that person. Tonight, if you walk away with a little thought, just a thought, maybe the picture is clear. If you don't get clear, don't worry. if you have a thought, wait now, but I really never think about that. So this is why when Hindu pray, they doing anything, they just always be praying. They cooking the roti, they just be saying a prayers. For example, oh, if you walk with, oh, I understand. Oh, you know, at that moment, your brain gets something, you get quiet. When a child does something, they don't talk, they stay quiet. They start to think about it, internalize it. If you walk away just a little, 1/8 of that, happy. Tonight, as you conclude your discourse, please understand that even Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, they didn't understand who Devi is. And based on this discourse, we really don't understand her either. What we get tied up with is she manifests in this form, she get manifest in that form, she manifests in the other form. And we listen to the discourses, but we don't know her true form. If we know her true form and it gets a very, you know, it looks at how big Mother is, then you understand what you're worshiping, where she is and where she's not. And then you realize how you have to behave because she's right there. Then the cheating you have to stop. Then the hating you have to stop. Because who you hating? Another form of Devi? When you ostracize people because of their sexuality, because God make them gay or different, and you say, huh, and you twist your face, and you do all of that, and you break these people inside, you hurt them. Who you hurting? Something else or a different form of that same Devi. If you say Sitaram, remember we said last night, Sitaram, I bow to the God in you. You just only bow to heterosexual people. No, you tell me, Sitaram only made for man and woman. You create them. Somewhere in the book it marked, only people who are like you, God create, but people who different, the devil make. I know that's how some people react. But remember, in this religion, in this concept, there is no devil. Durga, like you, the mother at the home, when the child do good, will cut the cake and smile. Love you, baby. Use mommy's favorite one. And when that same child do wrong, that same lady will turn and take a belt and show you how to feel warm in different parts of your body. The same lady. And without remorse, get up the next morning and say, love you, babe. It's madness. Durga Mata does that. I will teach you when you're doing good. I will reward you for shish. And when you're doing bad, I will bring trouble in you. I will show you trouble. Why do you do 6 days and 12 days when the girl has a baby? When we say locally chattis, shashti. But if you happy, baby coming, baby happy, baby born healthy, good, perfect, speaking on time, etc. If she not happy, stillbirth, miscarriage, you can't get pregnant. Shashti Mata, for example. Tonight, everybody, I hope all enjoy your discourse. More to come tomorrow. But please, please see the value of knowledge. Where we start off with, knowledge is the raft that will take you across this janam, this boat. It's good to do prayers, but you see when you reach here, and I already find the Murti and I love the God, that's good. Learn about it. Educate yourself. This is one Baba, you have plenty other Baba. What is your God you're learning? Don't study like this Baba Kyasa. Don't study that. Look for the good in it and take your peace and walk away. When you do that, you look for the good in everything. Don't get tired up by the weaknesses of the person. That is not what you went there for. Take the good and walk. One day you will meet that Devi you're looking for. Principal Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Let me pass to the mistress of ceremonies here. I know I'm late. Oh my God.
No, you're not late.
I apologize.
What do I say? I don't want to say anything that would tarnish that picture that has been created in your heart and in your mind tonight. Take that, digest it, It can be a lot to wrap your head around. But just take one drop of something that a woman has the power to rule this world. It starts in her home, it transcends into the village, and then it goes on and on. And even Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, they were instructed. At that point, I would call on Brother Raj. Did he leave? You can make your contribution tonight. Last time you didn't. After that, is there anybody in the audience who would like to make to sing? In the meantime, I see we have our beautiful sister here, Sister Shelley. She has always been with us. Sometimes other things will keep her away, but we're so honored to have you tonight, and would ask you to make your contribution in a few words, if you can, please. So after our son Raj, we'd have you come up, and then we'd have Bhaiji Vishal.
तू सुन ले माँ सुन ले तू सुन ले मेरी पुकार हो माता जय जय लक्ष्मी माता
Thank you very much. As we serenade Ma tonight in all her glories.
Sitaram and Pranam to our Vyasji, our Kirtan group, my dear brother and his wife, the entire family, and to each and every one of you that's here tonight. On behalf of Panpleno, I would like to welcome each and every one of you here to this very, very wonderful yajna that's been performed by Urvyasji, and we have his entire group here. On behalf of myself, I would like to say thank you so much for sharing all that knowledge that you have for our beautiful mother that has been born out of, as you say, nakedness. And she has done so much for our mankind. And the knowledge that you're spreading today is just so wonderful for a lot of us. Knowledge, as you say, is power. And power is something that we all can use in our life at any given time. So I would very much like to thank you for that. And continue doing that wonderful work. And I would like to thank the Sri Krishna Durga Kali Temple to have you here. And I guess this is not your first yajna, as you know. They try to bring our dharma in whatever possible way they can. They have a very, very wonderful group here of people that's here day in and day out. They all sit together and they make the decisions to share with the public part of our culture and part of our dharma, exactly what we are, that has been hidden from so many of us, our children especially, our grandchildren. They don't know much about our culture, and that's why they run to Christianity or to whatever faith it may be. But as you say, and I say, depending on the home that you were born in, and the gift you were given from the Almighty Father, or from Devi in this case, you will worship accordingly, and you hold no malice to that, because whatever prayer you do in this world or in your life, you pray for yourself so you have strength and courage, and then you will be able to pray for each and every single soul that needs that help without them even knowing. And I do know my brother always do a prayer for me and my family, regardless if I'm here or not. And whenever it's my birthday, we both share that same birthday, his wife, he will always make a mala and be ready for me to walk in. And even if I'm not here, he will still celebrate my birthday as well. So, and not only for me, for a lot of people, all the members of the temple and people out there. So, Brother Len, whatever you're doing it from the heart. And God will always bless you. And looking at all these Murti here, it makes us very happy just to be here in this environment. And I want to thank you on behalf of each and every one of us here, and who is not here watching and grasping so much knowledge from our Vyasji, and from you and from everyone that's contributed here to make this beautiful satsang happening, this yajna happening. I would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you, and I will hand you over
the microphone to my dear sister. Thank you so much, Sister. You see your list. And we're going to ask our pair to take us into Artie. So if you can all stand for Artie in the interest of time, thank you very much.
As we get set to do RT, everybody, put your hands together. Close your eyes. And as they arrange themselves, let's take the opportunity to thank your mother. Dear Goddess, by your grace and your blessing, you afforded me the opportunity to listen to something. If this is the first time you've heard this discourse, if this is the first time you're understanding some aspects of your mother, tell her that. And thank her for that, because I didn't give you this. God gave you this, mother gave you this. And as you learn and as you grow in her presence, in her knowledge, mother, bless me not to make a mistake, bless me not to fall, bless me to go from strength to strength. Sajam cham varti sanyuktam grahina yojita mayam deepam grahana devesham trilokyam timiramaham. Let's join together now with the group as they sing Arti for Mother. Jai Ambe Gauri Maya Jai Shama Gauri Jai Ambe Gauri one voice, everybody. Tvameva Mata Chavita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravina Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Together. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Gauraputra Hanuman ki jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki jai. Jai Jai. Sitaram. Sitaram, everybody. Sitaram, everybody. Sitaram.
प्रेम से बोलो व्यास महाराज की जय। प्रेम से बोलो पुजारी बाबा की जय।
Everybody, please have your seats. Make yourself comfortable while Auntie is speaking. Aarti will be coming around. Panjamit Prasad.
And there is bhojan for
Bhojan
everyone.
for everyone.
I know